Well, waking up to some horrific news this morning, of course. Las Vegas, about 58 dead now and over 400 injured, and people fighting for their lives in the hospital, having major surgeries. However, I want you guys to know that, you know, God was there and his angels supporting those people. Nothing to do with this, okay? But he was there, and and his angels were working with the people, because there was a lot of people out there that were police officers out for a good night, and they were able to identify that where the shooter was immediately. Other people helping other people, people opening up their vans to let people in just to get out of harm's way, people helping others just, by sheltering them and covering them and helping them, and working together and being loving and caring for each other. And so, that shows me that God is there and his angels are there with those people, okay, and helping them to be safe as much as possible. This guy had 10 rifles that I'm aware of so far, probably AR-15s broken down, put in bag, brought up. Senseless, no reason, nothing, so far that they can tell why, he would have done something like this. And I also appreciated what the president said this morning as well. And Las Vegas police, bad boys, what you gonna do? Song. The police there in Clark County, I know because I had two friends that lived there. I used to go there all the time. And I actually have a friend who lives there now, JT, and his partner live there, and they're okay, thank God. And because they go to events all the time. So, anyway, they are no-nonsense police officers, and they did not know this guy. This guy was not on their radar at all. No, one citation ever this guy ever got, clean as a whistle. So we don't know who he is. Is he government? We don't know. Don't know who he is. And my girlfriend just said they were going to stay on the Las Vegas Strip last night. Thank God they didn't. Thank God you did not. I had no idea you were in Las Vegas, Sheehan. Anyway, I was thinking about her just this morning, wondering where they were at. Anyway, okay, so that's good. Wow. Anyway, we are in the Bible today in Matthew, and I'd like to get into some of the reading. I was able to do a redo of my Eric Clapton song, and I also did a Jason Mraz song for people. And we are in chapter 21. I finished at verse 45 last time I read. So I want to just kind of finish that up, just to make sure that I got it all in. If I hear anything more in the news, I'll let you guys know, of course. And please also know that Thomas Tommy sent a message saying that his girl Pam is in a like a hospice, like a home, where they're trying to take care of her, and she is quite weak. So if you would just please keep praying for Pam. And also Thomas still has an infected leg, and he's still trying to get to where he needs to go to get that fixed. It's still infected, got some different medicine, but just keep them both in prayer if you would. And also my friend Buddy, doing a little bit better, was able to get out and enjoy a different environment And, some friends took him out, so that's good. And he's still has his next treatment on the 24th, so if you'd keep him in prayer then. And, so we'll get on with it now. And when the chief priests and Pharisees heard that his parables, they perceived that he spoke of them. But when they sought to lay hands on them, they feared the multitude because they took him for a prophet. Okay, so the marriage of the king's son, tribute to be paid to Caesar. And Jesus answered and spoke unto them again by the parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth another servant, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen, my fatling are killed, and all the things are ready. Come into the marriage. But they made light of it, and they went their way, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burnt up their city. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid them to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And the king came in to see the guest, and he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, friend, how comest thou in hither, and not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And the king said to the servant, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Then went the Pharisees, and took counsel on how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out to him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true. Teach us the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not? And Jesus perceived their wickedness, and said, why tempt me, you hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they sought to him a penny. And he said unto them, whose image is on this inscription? And they said to him, Caesar. Then he said unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. And when they heard these words, they marveled, and they left him, and they went their way. The same day came to him the Sadducees, which said that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up the seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren. First, then he married a wife, and deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third, and the 7th. And the last of all the women died also. Therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall be of the 7? For they had all had her. And Jesus answered and said unto them, do you err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God? For the resurrection they neither marry or are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, I am God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. God is the God of the dead, but of the living. And then the multitude heard this, and they were astonished at his doctrine. So I just want to stop there for a second. And he said, those that are dead are like the angels in heaven. It's really important that that's often glanced over, because it is said by Swedenborg that we will die and we can become like the angels in heaven. And if we can strive to be angels, if we so choose to be. So, I just find that that's, very, very interesting that is, what was read there. And, and how the Pharisees and Sadducees, always just trying to bait them. I mean, bait Christ, that is. It just can't that it just shows just how wicked they were. But yet God still loved them. And, and so when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. But the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, and they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all of thy soul, and with all thy mind. And this is the first and great commandment. Second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, saying, What do you think of Christ? Whose son is he? And they said unto him, The son of David. And he said unto them, How does David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then called him Lord, how is it that he is son? And no man was able to answer him a word, neither doth any man from the day forth ask him any more questions. It's because they didn't know that he was God. Okay? They just didn't see that. And so anyway, I'm going to end that right there. And then we will, continue into chapter 23 the next time. If I've got time later on today, I'll do it one more video. And again, all of my sympathy and prayer to my subscribers who need it, and of course, and my friends, and so yeah, I just hope that you have a good day today, and we'll get going with the reading a little bit later on. Okay, love you guys. I'm glad that you're all okay so far, so good. Okay, bye-bye.